Hola clase, soy la señora Stephanie and I'm here to share a special celebration that I celebrate every year. And this is a special Mexican tradition called Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And we usually celebrate Day of the Dead on November 1st and November 2nd. Day of the Dead is a special celebration of life. We celebrate our loved ones that have passed on, but to us, passing on to the afterlife is actually a celebration of life. So we celebrate our loved ones once a year, and we make these beautiful altars for our loved ones. And on these altars, we placed their pictures. We place their favorite foods, water, and special traditional flowers. We also place special decorative paper, and usually this paper is placed whenever there's big fiestas, big parties in Mexico. So we place food on the altar because it's said that when our loved ones are crossing over, it's a long journey. So they get very hungry and thirsty by the time they come back home. And we place their favorite foods and water, always water. Sometimes we place some of their favorite drinks, but we always place water on the altar. A special traditional food that's always placed on the altar is pan de muerto, and it's this special sweet bread that is only baked once a year, and it's usually for the Day of the Dead. It's a special sweet bread with designed with little bones, and it's sweet and traditional. Another traditional food that is usually placed on the altar is tamales. The flour that we use is the cempasúchil flour, and if you translate it in English, it's the marigold. This flour is used because it's a fall flower, and it's said that the color of the flower and the scent attracts the dead. We also use white candles because it helps light up the altar, and it helps our loved ones find their way home. Something that is very traditional too is placing butterflies on the altar, and that's because butterflies. It's said that our loved ones become butterflies when they pass on. Usually, the monarch butterfly represents adults, and the white butterflies represent children. Another thing that is very traditional is the crosses on the altar, and a lot of the times they'll place crosses with a flower, and that is because the cross represents religion. The Day of the Dead has been celebrated since the Day of the Aztecs. So when Mexico was conquered by Spain, they really liked this tradition, but they added the cross to make it more religious. So it's important to remember that for us Mexicans in Mexico, when we celebrate the Day of the Dead, we're actually celebrating life. We're celebrating the afterlife. And it's a special way to remember your loved ones and show them how much you care and you love them. Something that's also very traditional that you're gonna see a lot, and that you probably see more now, is people dressed like skeletons. And you'll see people dressed in skeletons wearing fancy dresses. The women wear fancy hats. And it's because in the early 1900s, a cartoonist drew the skeleton, and he drew the skeleton fancy because Mexicans wanted to keep up with fashion, and they always dressed in their best clothes because it represented wealth. And this cartoonist drew the skeleton dressed fancy and elegant as a representation of or as a saying that it didn't matter what social status you had, how well off you had, what color you were, what was the color of your skin. At the end of the day, we're all gonna end up looking like a skeleton. So that is why you see a lot of people dress as skeletons, or people place these like skeleton dolls on the altar. And the name of that doll is called La Catrina. And if it's a male, it's El Catrin. And that just represents that, or that just means that no matter what your social status is, no matter what your religion is, the color of your skin, at the end of the day, we're all going to end up looking like skeletons. So thank you very much. Thank you for sharing this special tradition with me. And I hope that now when you see an altar, you'll know what special meaning and symbol it has for us Mexicans. Thank you very much and have a great day.